We got confirmation on that Sarah Snecker thing. Cool. Any more videos of her floating around? Any more videos of her floating around, chat? So it's a birthday and BJ's are Diddy's favorite words. By the way, did you see that Andrew Tate got charged? Him and his brother got charged in the UK for like sexual assault. Apparently, he has responded. This is his response. I ain't even watched it yet, so let me watch it.
Friendly reminder to everybody at home. The UK government does not care about women. It allows grooming gangs to groom at length for decades. They don't care. They won't even investigate it. They won't look at it. They open the borders and allow in millions of military-age men, God knows where they're from, without passports, no one knows their criminal record, from questionable countries, which obviously have a misogynistic worldview, because I'm the world's worst misogynist. They allow these people to roam our streets. They pay for them to come, and they pay for them to live for free, which makes women unsafe. They have no time to police any of this. They have no time to investigate any of this, but they have time to drag up allegations on me from 15 years ago for talking about these issues. If they cared about women, they'd fix the issues. They don't care about women. Do not buy it for a second. They don't care about women. They don't care about young girls being safe. They don't care about combating misogyny. They don't care about any of that. They care about control and locking up anyone who highlights the problems inside of the UK. It is so broken. They are not trying to fix the problems. Instead, they're trying to get rid of the people who talk about the problems. The UK government does not give a single fuck about women and girls, or they'd stop the boats. They don't give a single fuck about women and girls, or they'd stop the grooming gangs. Why are they dragging up allegations on me from 15 years ago by promising women money if they lie? And after an extensive investigation, contacting over 1,000 women, they found 3 girls who were prepared to lie. What about the 997 who said I'm a nice guy? This is a setup. This is a stitch up. And do not buy their garbage for a second that they give a single fuck about the young women inside the UK, because they don't care. Our streets run with blood. Women are unsafe. People get stabbed to death. Crime is out of control. Does the media talk about murderers every day? No. Does the media talk about drug dealers every day? No. Does the media talk about the crime committed by the migrants we let in every day? No. The media talks about me every day. Why? Because I highlight the problem. Not because I am a problem, but because I tell you there's a problem. Friendly reminder to everybody.
Interesting. Hey, man, I wonder if Andrew Tate regrets. I was, me and him, we actually were sitting pretty much side to side, commentating the boxing match at Aiden Ross. I believe in March. At that time, he was off of house arrest. He was able to travel from Romania to Florida. The governor of Florida claimed they didn't want him there. He instructed his attorney general to go look up if there's possible charges that could be pending or cases that could be filed against him. And I guess my question here is, I think what I've learned over time is that people with significant power, and maybe you look at it another way. Maybe you're like, no, the people with they say absolute power corrupts absolutely. You know what I mean? Or whatever the saying is. But it's basically saying when someone has too much power, they usually use it for wrong or for bad things. But it is very interesting to me that, and let me first say on the first point, I wonder if he regrets how successful he's gotten. Because I do believe that he's persecuted by governments and entities who have a vested interest in controlling the minds, the society, the way society goes. And I do think he's more persecuted. I'm not saying he's the best person. I'm not saying he's guilty of anything. But I think they have more of a vested interest to get him the fuck out of here and quiet him, rather than they care about maybe whatever crimes they think he did. It's the symptom of becoming too powerful. Nelson Mandela. There's a list of people. I mean, always say the biggest form of power is influence. And anytime you see someone who almost becomes more influential than the government, or they get into things of governmental concerns, and they're using their influence for that, usually at a certain point they become persecuted. Um, I believe that Andrew Tate's a political prisoner. I think he's been persecuted politically because of his rhetoric. I don't know the details of any of these cases. I don't know if he did anything he's accused of doing. I don't know anything too much about those cases. What I do know is that it feels like there is a strong attempt by governments to put him in a cell to hopefully waste his years and probably quiet his voice. Again, we've seen this before. I think Vybz Kartel was a political prisoner. I'm not speaking on the case that he was actually charged with, because some people might think it had some merit. There's a lot of holes in that case. The point was that Vybz Kartel had more influence over the youth than the government. At a certain point, it was going to come to a head. So I don't know. I'm seeing a pattern here, and I'm wondering if Andrew Tate sits back, and yes, he talks about the Bugatti and all these other things, but there is such a thing as flying too close to the sun. And when you're a singular person who could control how the youth think, feel, move, and act, oftentimes, whether there are actual crimes they could pursue, it feels like there is a drudged up attempt to try to make sure they get you. And I think that's what's happening with Andrew Tate. So you're telling me that this guy lived for 30 plus years, or I don't know, 40 plus, I don't know how old he is, and nobody was trying to pursue sex trafficking, human trafficking, whatever charges against him. But in the short period that he's gained insane and immense amount of popularity, Romania has pursued some crazy amount of human trafficking charges against him, and then apparently he hasn't lived in the UK in maybe close to a decade at this point. They have now said they got the same thing, and then he comes to the United States and they want to investigate him, and none of it is for maybe actions he did currently. I don't know. Feels like a little bit of persecution, but I think it's a political thing. I do think so. Okay? I do think so. All right. All right. We're going to get back into the... Oh, did y'all see this? Apparently, Zion Williamson